This morning, Jacob Rees-Mogg has proclaimed the cult of death is becoming the official religion of England. He's likened Parliament's moves to decriminalise abortion and to discuss assisted dying on Friday to a modern pagan revival. He's invoked Saint Macrina, Mother Macrina, as a heroine of life, framing Westminster as the new Rome, a decadent, godless empire choosing disposal over dignity. It's a dramatic tableau, but it's the wrong one. In truth, the greater moral failure here is not that Parliament is loosening punitive measures, but that it took so long. The law must limit harm, not compound it. By criminalising the desperate, we've failed to protect the vulnerable. Both Parliament and Mr. Rees-Mogg are riding bandwagons, he of cultural panic, and they are performative restoration, and in that noise, Macrina's true witness is distorted. The Commons voted by 242 to decriminalise abortion in England and Wales, and this doesn't compel the acceptance of abortion up to term. It removes the criminal penalties from women in tragic extreme circumstances. It prevents another Carla Foster case, where a grieving woman was prosecuted for taking abortion pills late in gestation, leading to a national health crisis. This is not the triumph of death. It's the belated recognition that treating trauma with prosecution is not justice. As for the assisted dying bill, it has strict safeguards. No one is being weeded out. The disabled are not disposable, but some terminally ill people are pleading for agency and dignity, and the law is not granting them the right to die so far. It is removing the threat of jail from those who help loved ones escape agony. And that is the first stage, and that is something that should have happened long ago. In practice, it does happen, but it doesn't stop the arrests, it doesn't stop the waste of police time, it doesn't stop the agony of being caught up in this mess. Law is not a theodicy. Its job is not to resolve the problem of evil, but to constrain it. And rights-based language is often clumsy in these debates. The state is not endorsing abortion as a good, nor assisting suicide as a desirable norm. It's recognising the far greater wrong of inflicting further harm on those already enduring agony. This is not, as Rees-Mogg suggests, an eugenic purge of the elderly and the frail. It's an attempt, imperfect and overdue, to rebalance justice. And even if the assisted dying bill doesn't go through, and in many ways I hope it doesn't because it's an imperfect bill, we should follow through with an amendment to the police justice bill going through to ensure that the police no longer arrest and prosecute the relatives of those who have helped people to travel to Switzerland, to Dignitas or wherever. Parliament has been timid about this for decades. Now it is perhaps finally showing mercy rather than majesty. Now to St. Macrina, Rees-Mogg calls her heroine of life, citing Tom Holland's Dominion, and he pictures her rescuing unwanted infants from Cappadocian refuse heaps, rebuking the pagan world's indifference. He is correct, but he uses her example carelessly. Macrina did not denounce Rome from a distance. She descended into its filth. She didn't write laws to punish women who abandoned children. She saved the children and supported the women. She didn't call for jail terms. She offered bread, shelter, and dignity. And her brother Gregory wrote, "She made herself all things to all people so that by every means she might save some." She was a founder of communities, not a wielder of condemnations. The idea that she would support the imprisonment of women facing unbearable decisions about rape, poverty, incurable illness is a travesty of her blessed memory. Macrina represents not the cult of life against compassion, but the fusion of charity and principle. She didn't draw lines between saints and sinners. She drew lines between indifference and love, between indifference and charity. Rees-Mogg is not wrong to mourn the loss of reverence for life, but reverence is not a matter of criminal codes. It's a matter of culture, conscience, and community. You don't build a society that loves life by criminalising those in despair. What he calls the cult of death might better be described as a late awakening to the pain our institutions have inflicted under the guise of moral purity. The right-wing panic about euthanasia and abortion ignores the institutional violence of inaction, bureaucracy, and cruelty. True culture of life politics is about saving lives before they reach despair. It's about palliative care housing, perinatal support, mental health services, poverty relief. To defend life is not to demand state force, but to build the conditions where desperation never arises. Macrina's most famous echo is this from Proverbs 24:11, rescue those being led away to death. She didn't shame the dying, she served them. She didn't prosecute, she provided. The cult of rees mogg longs for what he longs for will not be found in criminal law nor in ecclesiastical laments. It will be found in that hard, prayerful, practical work of love in a broken world. Let Macrina speak again, not to condemn, but to call us, to rescue, to comfort, to forgive. That's the true faith of England, to be lived, not to be legislated. She says, blessed are the merciful. Macerii ele emones, oti afti ele thesontai. Blessed are the merciful, for they shall obtain mercy. What is good if someone says he has faith and doesn't have works? Erga zeme echi. From James 2:14. Those are the things that Macrina put into practice. Philosophical Christianity rooted in prayer, charity, and bodily resurrection. Radical hospitality in the face of plague, famine, and injustice, and courageous female leadership within and beyond monastic walls. The defense of the discarded, of women, children, lepers, widows, all seen as icons of Christ crucified. And she would say, she would look at Job, for example. I know that my Redeemer liveth. Egaga odi hoti ei sotermu ze. I know that my Redeemer liveth, and in the end he shall raise up my body upon the earth. And as a result, she founded double monasteries of men and women in adjacent but separated communities where all property was held in common. This was a rare and radical model of Christian communism, as she called all wealth a trust of the poor. She nursed the sick. She took direct care of lepers, plague victims, and women with infants, ministering with her own hands in defiance of both elite custom and the taboo of disease. She raised dozens of orphans, including abandoned children and those born to destitute women who were adopted by the monastic household and educated, particularly the girls, a clear rebuke to the Greco-Roman values which offered little for female education and female life. Rescue those being led away from death. I began with a reference to Proverbs. I'm finishing with a reference to Proverbs. Macrina and her mother Emilia opened their estate in Pontus and converted it into a refuge, an orphanage, and a poorhouse. If rees mogg wishes to invoke the memory of Saint Macrina, then maybe he should consider what he's going to do to the parsonage that he lives in, to take in the destitute, the infants, the rescued infants. Her monastery became a cradle of life, echoing Proverbs 24:11. That is the message of Macrina. Not more laws, not more prosecution of the vulnerable.